The phone rang while I was still underground. No signal, no light, just vibration against bone. I let it ring. Shaft 7 had collapsed 3 hours earlier. That was the story already moving through the company like a prayer people said to calm themselves. I lay on my side in a pocket of air, coal dust in my teeth, listening to the mind breathe. Every groan sounded like a verdict. Then the voicemail came through, delayed, distorted, intimate. A man's voice, close, relaxed. "He's gone," he said. "The mind is clean." A pause. Laughter. Glasses clinking. My wife laughed too. It wasn't hysteria, it was relief. Something cold settled behind my eyes. Not fear, not grief. Calculation. They had buried me before the rock ever tried. I didn't scream, I didn't move. I listened as if the dark were a boardroom and I was taking minutes. The mind had taken my breath, but it gave me clarity, the kind you only get when you're already dead to the world. When the rescue team finally pulled me out, dirty, broken, officially miraculous, I kept my eyes closed. Let them pronounce me unconscious. Let them file reports. Let the lovers finish celebrating, because resurrection is only useful if no one sees it coming. They visited the hospital in shifts. My wife came first. Black dress, dry eyes, perfect performance. She held my hand like a widow practicing muscle memory. She whispered apologies meant for nurses, not me. He came later, my COO, my friend of 15 years, the man who signed off on Shaft 7 safety clearance. He stood at the foot of the bed and nodded once, a professional goodbye. I felt nothing then. That scared me more than anger. Betrayal should burn. Mine froze. The pieces were already aligning. Late nights, board meetings moved off calendar, her sudden interest in Swiss real estate listings, his new watch, their shared pauses when I entered rooms. I had mistaken synchronization for loyalty. They thought the mind had erased me, that my shares would transfer quietly, that grief would blur scrutiny, that my wife's lover would inherit my seat, my company, my life. What they didn't understand was simple. I built this empire by surviving collapses, personal ones included. I recovered loudly, crutches, interviews, gratitude speeches. I played the grateful survivor while my mind ran audits. I pulled call logs at 3 a.m., cross-referenced burner phones registered to shell companies I recognized. I reviewed seismic reports from Shaft 7, altered timestamps, missing sign-offs. I installed nothing. I hacked nothing. I just watched. People betray themselves when they think the corpse is buried. I followed money. A Swiss account opened 6 months before the collapse. Beneficiary a trust in my wife's maiden name, funded by dividends she shouldn't have had access to. DNA tests weren't necessary. Motive has a signature. So does greed. At home, she served soup and kissed my cheek like a nurse. At night, she took calls on the balcony. I let the glass reflect her face while she whispered to him about timelines. I said nothing. Silence is an accelerant. The final report arrived on a Tuesday. I read it once, then again, slower. Not for confirmation, for appreciation. Cause of collapse, deliberate miscalculation. Approved by my COO. Signed digitally with credentials accessed from my wife's tablet. I called them into my office. No lawyers, no accusations. I slid the report across the table. "Read," I said. He didn't finish the first page. His face emptied. My wife reached for his arm, then stopped, remembering herself. "I know," she said, too quickly. I nodded. That was the confrontation. That was enough. They cried, separately, together. I remained still, as if still underground. They scheduled a meeting without me, finalized the transfer, celebrate survival with champagne and contracts. They chose the wrong room. I walked into their $340 million meeting unannounced. No crutches, no apology. Faces pale. Silence collapses faster than rock. "I'm alive," I said, "and the mind remembers." I didn't raise my voice. I raised a folder. Swiss account statements, the safety report, the voicemail transcript. My phone buzzed then, a call on speaker. If you want to join Thanksgiving, come wash the dishes, my daughter-in-law shouted, petty and cruel. I smiled. Enjoy. When the photos of my villa in Switzerland hit the screen, my villa, purchased years earlier, titled to a foundation they didn't control, the room fractured. My phone rang 71 times. I didn't answer. I had already transferred my shares, not to them, to a trust that froze voting rights pending criminal review. I had already filed, already resigned, already won. They were left holding air. I left the building without a backward glance. Betrayal doesn't hurt when you outgrow it. It educates. They lost everything chasing a death that wasn't theirs to claim. I gained distance, altitude, silence. Shaft 7 still breathes somewhere beneath the earth, a reminder that collapse is only final if you stay buried. I don't attend Thanksgiving anymore. I don't answer calls. I don't forgive. I simply live where they can't reach, and where the dead are finally left alone.